Friends, this is Sriram Shastri. I once again welcome you back to my new video session, and this video is regarding the topic called structure of male gamete and structure of female gamete, that is structure of mature human sperm and structure of mature ovum. So already on the board there are two diagrams. One is about the structure of male gamete, that is sperm, and the other one is the structure of female gamete, that is the ovum. So we'll start the discussion of sperm first, and then we'll go for the discussion of structure of ovum. So firstly, if you talk about the structure of sperm can be divided into three parts as four parts, sorry. First part is called as head, second part is the small one which is called as neck, then the middle piece, and then the tail piece. There are four parts: head, neck, middle piece, and tail part. In the head region, externally it is containing plasma membrane. Below the plasma membrane there is extension of a membrane which is continuation of the post acrosomal sheath. Post acrosomal sheath. Now, anterior side of the sperm's head contains a sac-like structure called as acrosome. Now, this acrosome is a derivative of Golgi vesicles from Golgi complex. Now, Golgi complex and Golgi vesicles are produced in a cell to have certain hydrolytic enzyme. Similarly, the acrosome also has hydrolytic enzyme which is very important for the process of fertilization. During fertilization, the acrosome releases the hydrolytic enzymes, dissolves the membrane of ovum, and helps the penetration of sperm inside it during the process of fertilization. What enzyme does it contain? The class of enzyme is hydrolytic enzyme. The name of the enzyme is hallourinidase. Hallourinidase is the name of the enzyme which is present inside the acrosome. Just below the acrosome, you have the large nucleus. You can see this is the large nucleus. Now this nucleus is haploid in nature, contains only 23 chromosomes, that is half set of chromosomes. Below it, in the neck region there are two centrioles. One is proximal, another one is distal. The proximal centriole is also a very important structure because in the human ovum there is no cell organelle except the nucleus, or you can say there are no cell organelles for cell division. So to cell division has to occur, that is after zygote is formed, zygote has to divide, and for zygotic division there are no centrioles present inside the ovum, and for that purpose the sperm head carries the proximal centriole for the process of division of zygote after fertilization. That means the role of proximal centriole is the proximal centriole helps in the zygotic division or cleavage, which is called as after the process of fertilization. Clear? Now, next is distal centriole. Distal centriole gives rise to the microtubules which continue into the tail part. It is called as the 9+2 arrangement of tail fibers. So, this is also a very important factor. The microtubules for the tail are arising from the distal centriole. Then there is a spiral arrangement of structures which is called as middle piece, that is mitochondrial spiral. It is called as mitochondrial spiral or spirally arranged mitochondria. Mitochondria, we all know, it is also called as powerhouse of cell. That means the sperm needs energy, and for the production of energy the mitochondria are present inside the middle piece. What for it requires energy? It requires energy for the movement of the sperm from the vaginal tract to the site of fertilization. To travel that distance it requires energy, and that energy has been produced from the middle piece of the spermatozoa. Then at the base of the middle piece you have a ring centriole. The function of this ring centriole is uncertain or unknown reason. Then if you talk about the tail piece is externally covered with a fibrous sheath. Internally it is having 9+2 arrangement. 2 central doublets and 9 peripheral doublets. 9+2 arrangement is 9 peripheral doublets and 2 central doublets of microtubules. You might have studied it in your 11th standard. Okay, so this is what is the structure of sperm and its parts. Now coming to the structure of ovum. So structure of ovum or secondary oocyte or egg, what you call as, it is generally a largest cell in the human body but is only produced in the female reproductive system because it is a gamete produced inside the ovary. Clear? The largest cell in the human body, if it is a question asked, the largest cell is the human female ovum, or human ovum is the largest cell in size. Okay, so even though it is large in size, it does not have any yolk. So it is also called as alecithal egg. The word alecithal refers to yolkless egg. Clear? Because we are placental mammals, there is no use of yolk. That's the reason why it's a yolkless egg. Then if you talk about the external-most layer, externally it is covered with follicular cells, which is called as the corona radiata cells. Then just below that you have a gelatinous layer which is called as zona pellucida. Zona pellucida and corona radiata are the cells, it's the cell and non-cellular layers which avoid the entry of multiple sperms during the process of fertilization. So during the process of fertilization, multiple entry of sperms is being avoided because of zona pellucida and corona radiata. Just below the zona pellucida, there is a space. This empty space is called as perivitelline space. It's called as perivitelline space. In between the perivitelline space, generally the polar bodies occur. Then after that, the oval plasma membrane is there. Just after oval plasma membrane, it is covered, it is internally filled with the fluid. The fluid is called as ooplasm. The cytoplasm of the ovum is called as ooplasm. Okay. So inside the ooplasm, they have a haploid nucleus, which is also called as germinal vesicle. Surrounding the plasma membrane or oval membrane, it contains certain granules. These granules are called as cortical granules. These cortical granules, they release certain spermicidal substances and they thicken the zona pellucida layer after fertilization. So when a single sperm enters, immediately the cortical granules release their content and increase the thickness of zona pellucida and avoid entry of another sperm. Only single sperm can enter into the ovum. That is what is the role of cortical granules. Then you can divide the poles also. The upper pole is called as animal pole and the lower one is called as the vegetal pole of the human egg. So this is the structure of ovum. You can see the diagram. This is the structure of sperm. You can see the diagram. Diagrammatically, the question is also very important. Theoretically, it is also a very important question. And according to your entrance test, it is very, very important. The role of the things what we have discussed, the labelings what we have discussed. Diagrammatically, they can ask the question in your entrance exam, or sometimes they may ask you what is the role of proximal centriole, what is the role of distal centriole, what kind of an arrangement you find in the tail of the sperm, and so on and so forth. So I hope it's very clear for you to understand this topic. In the next video, we'll continue with the topic called fertilization. Thank you.